Hey, what's going on, everybody? I just want to make a video about the war on attrition, planned obsolescence, and corporate capitalism, and why that I've never actually purchased with my hard-earned money a Chrysler FCA slash Stellantis vehicle, even though I worked for Chrysler for 12 years in the past, but I never purchased a Chrysler vehicle. So I was watching this video on YouTube about 10 minutes ago, and they was basically, it was a mechanic shop, and they were basically complaining on how much BS and how much garbage and how much crap of a product that Chrysler Stellantis FCA makes. Me being from Detroit, and basically from the heart of the automakers, the United States automakers. And I spent a lot of time in the factory, and I watched how a lot of things was be done. I was on the quality team, I was on the assembly line, I've done repair, and by me being a person who's taken out a lot of cars, who taken apart a lot of cars, worked on a lot of cars, changed engines, did a lot of mechanic work. I've owned a lot of vehicles, I've owned a lot of foreigns, but I've never ever purchased a Chrysler or FCA, Stellantis, or whatever you want to say. And I'm gonna tell you why. When I first started, now when the Chargers and the Challengers first came out, and people was in the hood riding up and down the street with their new Chargers, making up all this noise. In the beginning, before people start getting all the Hemis, they were struggling, with basic cars, so they had to, you know what, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm gonna keep it on the war of attrition, planned obsolescence, and capitalism. I'm not even gonna go there. But when I was working in Chrysler, in the factory, on the floor, like, one thing I happened to notice very quickly is about how the company don't care about you at all. Now, they'll pay you, you'll get your check every Friday, and you do get some type of insurance, but the company from top to bottom is really the type of company that I honestly wish that I could take my time back working for them. Like, I'm not mad about leaving the company, but I honestly wish that I never gave that company that much of my time. Like, that's my biggest problem with Chrysler, FCA, and Stellantis. My personal relationship is, I honestly wish I would have never gave them that kind of time and day. And that's why I beat myself up, because I wish I would have left Chrysler, Stellantis, FCA a long time ago. I wish I would have I wish that I would have just bought a Toyota like I always wanted to. I wish I would have supported the people that supported me. You know what I'm saying? Anytime anything Chrysler related, FCA, Stellantis related, it's always some bullshit in the game. Always. It's always a scam. It's always a trick. It's always a got you moment. It's always lying. It's always just so much corporate BS. When I worked for Chrysler, it was the worst air that I could possibly breathe walking into a job. Like every day I walked in there, I felt like I was choking. Like, I literally felt like I was going to die or have a heart attack walking, dead ass. Like, working for Chrysler was so bad that, to be honest, even though I was getting paid $30 something an hour, I'ma honestly say it was not worth it. I'ma honestly say that I wish I could have took my time back and worked someplace that I was going to be loved, appreciated, admired, and I could have just been making $15 an hour. And honestly, to this day, I think I would have been better off. And the reason why a person like me would be better off, because I'm not a fake person. I'm not a fake person. I'm a real person. I like to have real conversations. I don't like surface level people. I don't like people that just want to drink and smoke and they don't have no substance, Everybody in the company was trying to one up you. Everybody, I mean, it was nothing but skanks walking around all over the place, backstabbers, gossipers. I mean, everybody was trying to, it was really pathetic. And I'm not losing sleep over it, but it really is a shame, because as long as I worked for somewhere, I should be able to have something good to say. I mean, the good thing I can say is you do get your check. You do, they will pay you, and they don't mess the check part up. Because that's the one thing that they can say is we paid you. But everything else with Chrysler, I mean, I got into Chrysler because I was young. I didn't know no better. I was looking for a job, but I really realized that a place like that is a very thankless place, and if you want to be smart with your life, you don't want to give a place like that your type of time. You know what I'm saying? You don't. And I never ever purchased a Chrysler, a Dodge, or I mean, I bought a used Ram a long time ago just because I needed to do some work, but I never ever wanted a Charger, a Challenger. I mean, I did for a second. Oh, and let me tell you when I did want a Challenger. When I did want a Challenger, right? This was the one time I was having a decent year at the plant, and I was actually going to buy me a Challenger. I was 6 years, this fucked me up. I was 5 or 6 years working at Chrysler, FCA, Stellantis, whatever. And I was just getting my credit going. I saved about $5,000, and I tried to go to the Challenger dealership. I mean the Chrysler dealership, and they was trying to get down on me so bad. They was trying to charge me so much that it was not making sense. And I wasn't like I was trying to get the top of the line or the top of the line. I was trying to get a basic. All I wanted was a Hemi, basic cloth seats, decent little, a gray color, and I was and I worked for them for 5 years at the time. At that time, they was being stingy. And what make it so crazy is, like, I worked for them for 5 years. You should be giving them cars away from me. I worked on my credit, all that shit. But it was like BS in the game. It's almost like the smart decision was it didn't make sense. So something told me, I said, damn, they treat me so crappy. Let me go down to the BMW dealership that was right down the street. BMW basically was about to take me right in, and they was going to take me in so quick to buy this BMW, this foreign car, that it threw me off, because I was like, the place I worked for, I was there for 5 years, worked on my credit, had $5,000 to drop down, and they wanted to put me through all this crap. And BMW was about to, even though I don't like BMWs either, for real, because they cost too much to maintenance, but still, a foreign company. And then I ended up driving to Toyota. They showed me way better love than the company I worked for. The union, when I worked for Chrysler, my original steward, Eric, I feel like he cared for a minute. I feel like he was the last decent union steward. But anytime past COVID, it was already shitty up until COVID. But at least we had something, the thought and the feeling of something. But after COVID, whatever remnants of a union is a figment of your imagination. And I'm just telling you the truth. It went downhill, 50% since COVID. And that's supposed to be a major automaker. As soon as they sales go down, you're on the chopping block. As soon as nobody want to buy their Charger, nobody want to buy their pickup truck, you're on the chopping block. And you know what else? The main thing I don't like about Chrysler, FCA, Stellantis, or whatever you want to call it, is that they constantly switch out management, and they constantly rotate the management. So management will work at one factory for 5-6 months, cause a whole bunch of hell, fire a whole bunch of people, and they'll take those managers and move them to another factory to cause hell. Like the worst managers, the worst shift people, the worst bulls, or what we used to call them, they would cause so much hell And then you'll be like, you be blown away. Like, how is this guy not fired? How is this guy just running this place like this? And he will get so much trouble and he will get so much complaints. They'll never fire the guy. They'll just or girl, and they'll just take him and just move him to another building. And that same supervisor that could have been fired, sued, get his ass whooped in the parking lot or whatever, is now at another factory hiding. And that's what they do. Another thing too, when it comes to management and Chrysler FDN, is another thing about management is they rotate like HR and stuff like that. HR is not your friend. You know what I'm saying? They're there for the protection of the company. And the union is in bed with HR and management. It's always been that way. It's just there to make regular average Joes like me think that we have some type of power when you don't. I'm just keeping this shit real. So when you do build a relationship and build an understanding with a supervisor, with the manager, with your so-called boss, in 6 months, they're going to get rid of that supervisor. They're going to move them, and you're going to get a whole new personality. So the relationship that you built, the understanding that you built is gone, and you got to start over with a new person that's trying to be big and bad and that's trying to prove something to the company. This shit was the biggest. It wasn't, nothing I did working for them was ever worth my time. If I worked for them and I bought a car, it wasn't worth it. Everything that I worked for them and I touched that had got a Chrysler label on it or still, it was never worth it. Now, I could be one of them fake ass people to get one of them cars on discount, ride around like I'm somebody, but I'm too real for that. Straight up. Too real for that. And what else I want to add before I get up out of here? Like HR, they literally hire people to come into the company just to fire people and then disappear. Do you really want to work for a place like that where they basically hire people to sit in a barricaded part of the building, where they got this part of the building in Chrysler, FCA over there in Sterling Heights, they got this building that's like, I guess that's where the managers are, and it's all like, it's like a fort, like a bank. Like it's thick glass and gates that roll down and security, because they know they do people dirty and they don't want nobody coming up there acting cuckoo, and they want to be able to call a security team 6 on your ass to get you up out of there. You know what I'm saying? It's just business with them. And I'm going to say, even though you're getting paid money, I would say if you work for Chrysler, if you work for FCA or Stellantis, work for them, stack your money, don't buy nothing that's in relationship with the company, unless you want to work there your whole life. And you ain't going to get no pension. The pension shit is dead. If you work for them, if you work for them and you make $30 an hour and 5 years go by, that 30 years is going to feel, if you work for them for 20 years and at the end of 20 years, you don't even get a pension. So at the end of the 20 years, the $30 you made don't even feel like $30 an hour no more. And you don't get no pension. And they about to fire your ass because you old now. You nothing but broke down farm equipment to them. You know what I'm saying? And another thing too, Chrysler the type of company that if you be 1 minute late, they'll use that as a one-up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be quiet at work and they'll be mad because you're quiet. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't fuck with nobody, because you stay yourself and just do your job. That's how petty that environment was. And, I wanted to say that at the top of the morning. That was a thought. Peace.